Hey Alton, how's it going? First off, just how do you feel this camp has gone for you? We've heard a lot of praise from some of your teammates.
So far, I think camp's been going well. I think there's still like a big learning curve, but I think so far it's been going well. Just an unbelievable experience. To be at this level with a great group of guys that I've been fortunate enough to be around.
Greg?
Hi, Alton. Your coach told us that you gained a lot of weight. How much weight did you actually gain, and what has it allowed you to do? What's the advantage been for you?
I gained a little over 10 pounds, and I think the advantage mainly was just, the power that I was able to gain throughout the strength training and things of that nature. And I think that would be the biggest thing, help me anchor down and be in there with those big old guys.
Thank you.
Jen?
Alton, I've seen Dwayne Brown kind of get in and give you some advice on some of those drills. What have you learned from Dwayne?
Important things I learned from Dwayne is that, things that he's told me, like just different things about how to practice, and then just from going against him, that you got to be right on your techniques and stuff like that, because as we all know, Dwayne's a hell of an athlete, great player, and things like that. So the biggest thing I learned from him, you got to be on your P's and Q's when you're going up against a guy like that.
Have you beat him yet in a drill?
No.
Thank you.
John Boyle?
Yeah, Alton, excuse me. Sorry about that. Just curious, your pass rush group, you got a kind of an interesting mix of young guys, veterans. Just how do you feel that whole group's come together and just the way you're working together?
I think we work together extremely well, and I think that's the key component to it all, right? Is the camaraderie between the group of guys, and I think we're coming along well. Granted, I'm a rookie, but I feel like I have great relationships with all of them, as well as we all feel the same about each other. So I think through time we're going to really, really get just closer together.
Curtis?
Hey, Alton, what's been the biggest adjustment you've had to make so far up until this point, making the bull heap and everything?
Surprisingly, like the biggest adjustment for me was finding my new routine. For so long in Syracuse and places I've been before, I kind of you get into the like routine of knowing where everything's at. I think the biggest thing for me was finding out where things were and getting my routine together. I think that's been the crucial part.
And how about on the field? Has anything surprised you there?
On the field, just lead attention to detail. Because everybody's good, right? So it's like you can't be wrong, really. Like it's a lead attention to detail. I think that's the biggest thing.
Thanks, Alton.
Joe?
I'm just curious, have you been playing both the Leo and the 5-tech, and maybe is there a spot you feel more comfortable on the line?
Yeah, I mean, I play 5 technique and, certain defenses, but I don't really feel the difference because, in both of those situations, I'm an edge player. So really, it's the same thing, to me.
Bob?
Yeah, hey, you talked about the weight gain. Was that something you just felt like going into the NFL was something you're going to need? And is this have you ever played at a weight like this before, or did you go up and down in Syracuse at all?
Yeah, I mean, throughout my time in Syracuse, my weight kind of fluctuated between seasons. Like, I found out there was a trend that I usually gained a couple pounds each year, which, like I mentioned earlier, it helped me, in terms of my power and things like that. As far as being at this weight, I don't believe I've ever played at this weight, but like I mentioned, each year pretty much I played, I gained weight, and that's just through the strength training and things like that.
And you did some working out with Cliff Averill this offseason, right?
Yeah, I was working out with Cliff throughout like my draft process.
Yeah. What any real specific takeaways from Cliff at all, or?
Yeah, there's actually a lot of ins and outs that he taught me. Nothing that I want to get in too much detail on because it's all advantages for when I'm playing the game, but he definitely taught me a lot.
Brady?
Hey, Alton. Bob actually asked the question I was going to ask, but I did have a follow-up. I was going to ask you what happened to the T-bar face mask that you had in college. I thought you were going to wear that here.
No, not quite. I still have those helmets. You know, they're sitting safe over in my mother's china cabinet. But I figured, you know, just get back to the basics. You know, that was kind of a way for me to express myself going into my senior year. And I think here, there's a lot of development that needs to be done before I try to, you know, express myself in that manner.
Got it. Thank you.
Last question, Art Teal.
Thanks, Dave. Elton, the canceled practice last Saturday seemed to be meaningful for a lot of guys. Can you describe how you took it, both what he told you at the meeting and his public comments after?
I thought that day was huge. That was my first time being a part of it because growing up, you know, football was so, you know, like pushed. But, you know, to have that conversation, I feel like was very important. And just a big thing that I took was, you know, how important our voices are in that aspect, because I've never been a part of a situation where, you know, the players can decide something like of that significance of like canceling practice for those great reasons that we did, you know, as far as like, you know, getting registered to vote and getting guys educated on, you know, different situations that are going on in our country. So I think that was a good takeaway right there.
Thanks.
Thank you.